1. Remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. 2. Never give up work. Work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it. 3. If you are lucky enough to find love, remember it is there and don't throw it away. We are just an advanced breed of monkeys on a minor planet of a very average star, but we can understand the universe that makes us something very special. Quiet people have the loudest minds. Life would be tragic if it weren't funny. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder about what makes the universe exist. Be curious, and however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. It matters that you don't just give up. My expectations were reduced to 0 when I was 21. Everything since then has been a bonus. It surprises me how disinterested we are today about things like physics, space, the universe, and philosophy of our existence, our purpose, our final destination. It's a crazy world out there. Be curious. I have noticed that even those who assert that everything is predestined and that we can change nothing about it still look both ways before they cross the street. The victim should have the right to end his life if he wants, but I think it would be a great mistake, however bad life may seem. There is always something you can do and succeed at. While there's life, there is hope. One of the basic rules of the universe is that nothing is perfect. Perfection simply doesn't exist. Without imperfection, neither you nor I would exist. In the universe, it may be that primitive life is very common and intelligent life is fairly rare. Some would say it has yet to occur on Earth. The universe doesn't allow perfection. I think computer viruses should count as life. I think it says something about human nature that the only form of life we have created so far is purely destructive. We've created life in our own image. My goal is simple. It is a complete understanding of the universe, why it is as it is, and why it exists at all. There is a fundamental difference between religion, which is based on authority, and science, which is based on observation and reason. Science will win because it works. Although I cannot move and I have to speak through a computer, in my mind I am free. If time travel is possible, where are the tourists from the future? People who boast about their IQ are losers. The thing about smart people is that they seem like crazy people to dumb people. I'm not afraid of death, but I'm in no hurry to die. The downside of my celebrity is that I cannot go anywhere in the world without being recognized. It is not enough for me to wear dark sunglasses and a wig. The wheelchair gives me away. Not only does God play dice, but He sometimes throws them where they cannot be seen. Remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Never give up work. Work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it. If you are lucky enough to find love, remember it is there and don't throw it away. However difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. Success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history, Unfortunately, it might also be the last, unless we learn how to avoid the risks. We are all now connected by the internet, like neurons in a giant brain. I would like nuclear fusion to become a practical power source. It would provide an inexhaustible supply of energy without pollution or global warming. People won't have time for you if you are always angry or complaining. Science is not only a disciple of reason, but also one of romance and passion. I believe alien life is quite common in the universe, although intelligent life is less, so some say it has yet to appear on planet Earth. Look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder about what makes the universe exist. Be curious. Work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it. We are in danger of destroying ourselves by our greed and stupidity. We cannot remain looking inwards at ourselves on a small and increasingly polluted and overcrowded planet. Even if it turns out that time travel is impossible, it is important that we understand why it is impossible. Life on Earth is at the ever-increasing risk of being wiped out by a disaster, such as sudden global nuclear war, a genetically engineered virus, or other dangers you have not yet thought of. I believe things cannot make themselves impossible. I have noticed even people who claim everything is predestined, and that we can do nothing to change it, look before they cross the road. Because there is a law such as gravity, the universe can and will create itself for nothing. I was not a good student. I did not spend much time at college. I was too busy enjoying myself. No one undertakes research in physics with the intention of winning a prize. It is the joy of discovering something no one knew before. There is no heaven or afterlife for broken-down computers. That is a fairy story for people afraid of the dark. My advice to other disabled people would be, concentrate on things your disability doesn't prevent you doing well, and don't regret the things it interferes with. Don't be disabled in spirit as well as physically. If you understand the universe, you control it in a way no one undertakes research in physics with the intention of winning a prize. It is the joy of discovering something no one knew before. If aliens visit us, the outcome would be much as when Columbus landed in America, which didn't turn out well for the Native Americans. In my school, the brightest boys did math and physics. The less bright did physics and chemistry, and the least bright did biology. I wanted to do math and physics, but my father made me do chemistry because he thought there would be no jobs for mathematicians. Although September 11th was horrible, it didn't threaten the survival of the human race like nuclear weapons do. There could be shadow galaxies, shadow stars, and even shadow people. Keeping an active mind has been vital to my survival, as has been maintaining a sense of humor. If I had to choose a superhero to be, I would pick Superman. He's everything that I'm not. We are all different. There is no such thing as a standard or run-of-the-mill human being, but we share the same human spirit. I was never top of the class at school, but my classmates must have seen potential in me because my nickname was Einstein. We must develop as quickly as possible technologies that make possible a direct connection between brain and computer, so that artificial brains contribute to human intelligence rather than opposing it. It's a pity that nobody has found an exploding black hole. If they had, I would have won a Nobel Prize. There are no black holes in the sense of regimes from which light can't escape to infinity. There are too many accidents that can befall life on a single planet. The missing link in cosmology is the nature of dark matter and dark energy. I have found far greater enthusiasm for science in America than here in Britain. There is more enthusiasm for everything in America. Up until the 1920s, everyone thought the universe was essentially static and unchanging in time. It now appears that the way the universe began can indeed be determined using imaginary time. Many badly needed goals, like fusion and cancer cure, would be achieved much sooner if we invested more. I don't care much for equations myself. This is partly because it is difficult for me to write them down, but mainly because I don't have an intuitive feeling for equations. I can't say that my disability has helped my work, but it has allowed me to concentrate on research without having to lecture or sit on boring committees. Obviously, because of my disability, I need assistance, but I have always tried to overcome the limitations of my condition and lead as full a life as possible. I have traveled the world, from the Antarctic to zero gravity. Sometimes I wonder if I'm as famous for my wheelchair and disabilities as I am for my discoveries. As scientists, we step on the shoulders of science, building on the work that has come before us, aiming to inspire a new generation of young scientists to continue once we are gone. My father was a research scientist in tropical medicine, so I always assumed I would be a scientist, too. I felt that medicine was too vague and inexact, so I chose physics. I first had the idea of writing a popular book about the universe in 1982. My intention was partly to earn money to pay my daughter's school fees,